Ooh, I'm going to fall over, and that is just not a good thing.
No, but I look horrible.
What are you going on about? Try it. Oh, my shorts.
I didn't realise we were already live, and I'm sat there going,
well, I look
horrible. This is a horrible filter, Nicole. Why would you do this? My hair colour looks beautiful.
Beautiful.
My face, on the other hand, not so much.
Okay, right.
Why is it I look better on TikTok Live than I do on
You
Instagram
look more like
Live?
you've got fake tan on. Do you want me to change the filter?
Yeah, we don't look good here.
Hi, guys.
This is not a good look. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing to me? Look, see, this is how shit I look without a filter.
This has got a filter on. What are you going on about?
Not that I use filters on TikTok because I don't actually know what I'm doing. Hi, everyone.
Well, I know your filter's working. Is your phone broke or something?
My phone has been a bit rubbish today, I have to say.
This is just not
Let's
it.
go back to what we were on. I'll live with it.
Yes.
We'll live with it. We'll just look like
Who's
I'm
Chloe?
fake tanned.
Who's Chloe?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Someone said hi, Chloe.
Oh.
You look gorgeous, Mum.
Where's Chloe?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna...
Right, hang on. All these request thingies, are any of them going to be Jordan?
It'll show up on your phone.
No, did it show up there, look?
You give it me.
How is it? See, I've not done live on Insta.
He's not on there yet. So
Right, okay, that's fine.
Mum, you can't... Hi, Fork!
Hi,
It's
Fork.
We love Fork. It's Chloe. That's
My teeth look amazing on here as well.
God.
Look at me.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at my amazing teeth.
Generally, it does look like you've got a tan. I can't even...
And it does look like I've got really white hair.
You're gone old.
Whoa.
I'm joking.
Muggy. Spoon.
That's my fork.
Hi, Chloe.
It's my fork. It's my fork. I think.
Hi, George at the Body Centre.
Sorry, I do apologise.
She sorts my face out for me to make it look more beautiful. Oh, no, that's not the right Jordan.
Where's Chloe? You two looking right. Yeah, there's our Chloe.
Oh,
There's
okay.
our Chloe.
You're not fuzzy either. Yeah, this is true. I went on TikTok a second ago and I was all fuzzy, like all pixelated. It wasn't good.
Oh, sorry. I just realised what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not as sore as it was. It's alright.
What does muggy mate mean? You say it a lot.
Muggy mate.
Is how you need to explain it, Mum?
Like,
Don't repeat the words. Don't like, well, it's muggy mate, because every time she's explaining something, she repeats the
I don't know
words.
what you mean. That's not what
Oh,
happens.
of course. Do apologise.
You know, like
Annabelle!
muggy. How would you, like, if someone says something and it's like rude or jesty, and you're like, no, sorry, Jordan. We're going live with Jordan doing like Q&As that he's done.
Hi, Belle.
But we're waiting for him to come on. He may already be on. I'm just a bit rubbish. How have Nicole's tics been today?
Yeah.
They haven't been too bad, have you? You said at school? Not too bad.
They haven't actually awful, to be honest. I'm dying. Don't die. I love you.
Any recommendations for cams?
Oh.
Not so.
Send help.
Hi, Annabelle.
Hi, Belle.
Sorry, I'm late. No, you're fine. Don't worry, Jordan. We're waiting for you. I'm working out how to use the old Instagram situation, so I don't go live
Are you
on
loving your
Insta.
new piercing?
What new piercing?
I don't know.
What have you got pierced without telling me?
I haven't got anything pierced.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Hi, Weezer.
Hi, Weezer. It's my favourite Weezer.
My dogs are good.
It's the only
Thanks.
one.
Hey?
She's the only Weezer, so she's the favourite.
The one you got for your birthday? What piercing? Who got a piercing for their birthday?
I think they might be on about my belly piercing that I no longer have.
She didn't look after it.
Libby! Say hi to Libby.
Hi, Libby. Do I have to do it the way you did?
Yeah.
Can I just be like normal?
No. Just do
Libby!
it.
Is that about right? I totally sounded like you.
No, you didn't.
I've sent a request. Oh, hang on. I'm on it.
Oh my god, Mum, I do.
Check me.
You're just like, I got it! Hold on!
I do it? Hello!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you two?
We're good, thanks.
Good.
We're nice and calm.
So far.
Yeah. So far, so good.
So what have you guys been up to all day?
Well, Coco's been at school all day, yeah. Nicole's been at school all day, and I've just been nursing the invalid upstairs with a broken foot. How about you?
I've not been up to much. Just chilling.
That's good. Chilling, and you're still late, Jordan. What's that about?
He's cooking his pizza, he said.
I actually had a pizza in the oven. So I had to pretty much throw the pizza in the oven, come off of the live with Georgia and her mum. Put the pizza in.
Okay. How did that go? Was it good?
It was actually.
Was George ticking quite a lot, or was she quite calm?
She was actually quite calm.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
A few whistling ticks, but that was it's all good.
Yeah, that's good. Callum's got a broken foot, everyone. That's you're all asking.
Sorry, my eye is like a bit watery.
Yeah, mine is too. That one. That eye looks bigger than that one now. I look wonky. No, not my son. My son hasn't got a broken foot. My boyfriend's got a broken foot. People are asking come on, Callum, guys.
He's a patient. So
Yeah, he's being a patient now, isn't he? He's not a very good one.
Well, at least he's the one that's lying in bed and not you.
Yeah, this is very true. I've got too much to do, Jordan. I can't be hanging about.
Madhouse.
I am a busy lady.
Are you?
Yeah.
Very busy.
Yeah.
Yes.
She has to be busy, otherwise she might end up in a cardboard box somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
this is true. This is true. Go on then, hit us with it. Far away.
right. I'll go easy on Nicole and start with you first, Jodie. So the first question I have, if I can find them, is: are you able to describe the moment that you found out about Nicole's Tourette and FND?
The moment we found it, they're all separate times, but the moment we found out, or I found out about, there's two separate times. The first time, which was when she first started ticking, and I didn't have a clue what it was, and it was really scary, and I was really, really worried about what it was and what it meant for Nicole. But when she officially got the diagnosis of Tourette's, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say relief is the right word, more of like empowerment to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because we knew what it was really, but being labelled with a complex tic disorder didn't really quite seem the right words for exactly what we were having to deal with, because it was more than that.
Yeah. And in the first, I actually watched the first video that you put up of Nicole's first tic the other day, and you really wouldn't think that it's a tic.
Yeah, with the head and the neck and the hands and her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's progressed a lot, hasn't it? Mm. And it was in a short space of time.
Yeah.
It's only been a year.
Well, 16 months now.
Yeah. Very specific.
Crazy. Right. Next one for you, Nicole. So do you have anything that triggers your tics?
There's certain things that trigger them, like if someone was repeating one of my tics, that just sets me off. Whistling sets me off a lot of the time.
Yeah, it does actually, doesn't
That's really bad.
Yeah.
So like if someone's whistling, I kind of just go, can you stop? Because it'll set me off.
Yeah.
Just like if my best friend Annabelle's on right now, when she repeats certain tics that I say, it just sets me off. Sometimes she doesn't actually mean to. Like most of my friends, we all talk about my Tourette's sometimes. So we obviously talk about my certain tics that we have. So I just end up ticking, but it's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But emotions, any emotion sets you off, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Happy, sad, angry, worries.
Sad isn't that bad, to be honest. I think the only emotion that doesn't set me off as much is when I'm sad.
Just be sad all the time then. What's wrong with you? Right, no antidepressant tablets for you. Let's just keep you sad. Joking.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, carry on. I hijacked that. Oh, is it? Is it gone? I got booted off. Oh no. Hang on.
Mum, you can't do it. You just need to wait for it to reconnect. I think you can kick him off though, and then he can. Yeah, he's just.
Oh right, okay.
It'll kick him off, and then he'll redo it back. You're learning.
I'm learning on TikTok.
Spoon. No fork. I do apologise.
Maybe that's why my tics are calm. Why? Because you're sad. That's not good. I was only jesting with Nicole. I'm probably going to get loads of shit and hate for that now. Hi, Ryan. Right, hang on. View request. Is that the right one?
I don't know. No, it's not, Mum. No, it's not.
Hang on. That one.
I
Don't know what happened.
Neither. So, where were we at? Yeah, just be sad all the time, then your tics will be
Yeah,
fine.
I reckon so.
That's a very difficult thing for me because I'm quite happy most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is quite a happy, bubbly person. Gosh.
Wow.
Hey, you know these? Do they save? You know, like TikTok saves, like the live save? Oh, cool.
You have to save it though, so if you don't, then you just delete it. Don't worry.
How does that work? Well, afterwards?
Yeah, once you've ended it, it'll say save live.
Oh, I got you.
And then
Sorry, Jordan, learning things while I'm on here.
Oh dear. Right, next question. Now this one is probably quite a big one. So the question is, what is it like when a tic attack happens, and how do you deal with that?
For me,
Both of you.
okay, so for me, with a tic attack, it is like the worst thing ever. I kind of now go into I don't know what the words are, like straight away into kind of a management plan almost of like, right, let's get music on, let's try this, make sure the boys are safe and where they need to be away from Nicole, make sure Nicole is safe and that she's in an environment that she's not going to hurt herself particularly. But I kind of just go, and then I clock watch as well. I check the time so that I can see how long it's going on for and if it's escalating out of control. But for me as a parent watching my child go through that, it's horrific because there's nothing I can do to stop it and you're helpless, like completely helpless.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say when it's like near the end of a tic attack, I'm still ticking, but I'm not as bad. So like, just like imagine waking up. Like, you know, the first thing you do in the morning, like you're absolutely knackered, your body's like still waking up. It's like that. So like, my body's like shutting down, let's say, and like restarting again. So it's definitely very tiring. So once I finished my tic attack, or once the tic attack is starting to go away, it is kind of my time to be like, right, I'm going to go to sleep now because I'm tired. So you get in, we've kind of got into that routine where every time I'm finished having a tic attack, I get straight into bed and I put music on and go to sleep. That's like the routine that we've done, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you it's a scary time as well because you probably don't know what's going on. Well, So
Can you feel it escalating though? You know, when you're ticking bad, can you? Because I can see it, and I can see it now, and I can pinpoint like a turning point. But can you feel it?
It's like, I don't necessarily know how to like explain it, like how people can understand. Like, it's like the ticking. There's points where you have a bit of space, like there's a tick and then there's a bit of space, then tick again. But then when I'm ticking, it just goes tick, 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 tick. So there's no space between. And I think that's like the best way to explain it. And it's like
a cluster.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like, imagine if you're sneezing. Imagine sneezing 30 times every second. Like, that is just generally what it is.
That's a good way to describe it, I would think.
yeah, that's quite a good way to describe it. Although it's not as weird as my when I was on live, I described suppressing tics as using a toilet and having to hold it in. So that's not near as bad as my description of what it feels like to suppress tics. But I would imagine they're both the same.
Yeah.
Which actually leads me on nicely to the next question. So obviously, there'll be times where you have to suppress your tics quite badly, Nicole. Well, not badly, but in situations. So what does it feel like when you have to suppress them?
In certain situations, I do suppress my Tourette, like my tics. So, like, if I'm very uncomfortable or if I'm around a group of people that I don't know as well as I do with the rest of my mates, I do sometimes suppress it. But it feels like imagine holding your breath. That is what it feels like. It's like, just, you can feel it building up where you just kind of have to let it out. But that just makes it worse. So, like, suppressing it is like when you hold your breath, you like get a big pain in your chest because you're not breathing and your lungs need to breathe and you need to have oxygen in your body. So like, it's gonna hurt your chest. So that is just what it feels like. It's exact same thing as not breathing. That is just the best way to explain it.
Yeah. So this one's for you now, Jodie, and another big question, but what are the hardest things about coding for Nicole? Not as in Nicole's a bad child. Well, I don't know. I'm not. I'm
She's
not judging.
horrific. No, I'm just kidding. What's say again? What's the what? Sorry.
What's the hardest thing about coding for someone that has Tourette's?
Phone rang. So the hardest thing for me is the unpredictability of it. So now she's completely calm. We've got no tics. But then in 10 minutes time, this could be a completely different situation. And that is what the hardest thing is, because you can't plan your day properly. And so we make plans to do things, but sometimes we have to adapt it. And if Nicole's ticking really badly, we're like, maybe we should do it in about an hour. Like, so for me, caring for Nicole, the hardest thing is the unpredictability of it.
Yeah. I did actually see a comment on one of your TikToks saying that you are like Batman and Robin. Don't have to wear that. I did actually see a comment on one of your TikToks saying that you're like Batman and Robin, the two of you together.
I'm definitely Batman.
No.
You're my little sidekick.
No. Just stop thinking, don't mean I'm Robin.
I think it's probably Nicole that looks after you.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, I do.
Better be careful though, because she can drive, and if you don't look after her, she might end up driving you to a nursing home.
That's good. Don't give her ideas.
Right, next question. So what's the one thing that you wish, both of you wish people knew about Tourette?
me that you don't tick 24/7. Everyone seems to think that you have to tick all day, every day, in order to have Tourette's. And that is the one thing that really grinds my gears really bad.
I would say people. I think I find it funny, but at the same time, it's really annoying when people say other people's tics to me, and they're like, "It's gonna set you off." It's not how it works. Everybody has different tics. Everybody has different kind of thoughts, and we see different things. So it's like if I see something yellow, like my tics will start like shouting sunshine or something. And I think people think that every person, if they see someone with Tourette's and they're shouting, I don't know, beans, let's say, that's
Oh yeah, because Evie's tick is beans. Yeah.
They all assume that because a person is ticking beans or whatever they're ticking, everybody else has that tick. So if you say it's going to set them off, that is not how it works. It like works differently for everybody.
Yeah. So here's an interesting one. So can you explain the difference between a good and a bad day of tics?
Do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, you crack on. Yeah.
Um,
You're the broken one.
Nah, mate, you're broken as well.
I know. Yeah.
So I'd say a good ticking day is like today. Today is a very good ticking day. Like, it's normally not as many ticks. So like I had a lot of facials today, but that's like facial ticks, but not a lot. So like a bad ticking day, let's say, is where it just goes out of control. Like loads of swearing ticks, loads of vocal ticks, loads of motor ticks, facials, and it's just like I don't really know how to explain it. Like there's just so many ticks going on, and that would be a day that I think is just a very bad ticking day. Like they last long periods of time,
and more like stop and start throughout the day. When it's a bad tick day, like you'll get like an hour or so of ticking, and then you'll stop for a bit, and then you'll start again.
Yeah.
Whereas on a good tick day, it's normally like 1 or 2 episodes a day, rather than like
like today
loads.
I've only had a little bit of an episode.
But no, you did explain that all right. Good job.
Thanks, really.
Let's see what other ones we've got. So obviously Nicole now has FND as well. I have no idea what that is. So would you be able to explain what that is?
Okay, so FND stands for functional neurological disorder. It is something that I'm still massively learning about and massively having to research. But the way it affects everybody slightly differently. The way it affects Nicole is when she's ticking, her brain can't cope with the tics. So therefore, it then almost shuts down and does something else, which is where the electrical signals get sent for the FND, and like her hand will lock or her feet will lock, and they'll like lock into a position, and then she can't move them, and that can last for hours and hours at a time. Or you may or may not have seen the videos where she like rolls her eyes in the back of her head and then just drops as if it almost looks a bit like a seizure. And then she comes back round again. And it's almost like the FND's kicking in because of the trauma from the Tourette's. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense? Yeah.
Yep. And I was going to ask about friendships, but I think it's clear by Nicole's videos and posts that her friends are really good. And I'm not sure which side deserves the medal.
Say again.
I'm saying I was going to ask about friendships, but Nicole's friends are pretty good, and I'm not sure which side deserves the medal.
That's very true.
So I guess this is a question for you, Jodie. How difficult was it to allow Nicole to be independent because of her Tourette?
That one's still being juggled. Like, it depends on the day. Like, the first time since having to deal with all of this, you went with your friends, didn't you, for the day out somewhere? And the whole day, I was like on pins, like stressing about her, worrying about her, texting her, making sure she was all right. Like, and she went to Thorpe Park with her friends, and she went with her friends, auntie and uncle as well. So I knew she was with adults, but not me. So me being able to let her go off and do that was hard, because I was worried about her all day, in case that her tics escalated, in case that someone made fun of her and then she felt uncomfortable, in case she got into confrontation because someone was taking the piss out of her tics. Like, all these different scenarios. So for me, it's quite difficult. I want her to be as independent as possible, but at times and days it's not possible. So, like, there are times where I can still, like, she's 14, so I can, like, go, right, I'm nipping to the shops. I'll be, like, half an hour, you okay? And, like, a normal 14-year-old would be, that's fine. But if Nicole's having a bad tic day, I can't do that. That's not possible. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of, every day is different, and that is where I hate it, for the unpredictableness.
Yeah. It's like I actually myself Georgia and Georgia's mum describes it as Boris Johnson's way of running the country. You never know what he's going to do next.
That's quite a good way of putting it.
Right, next question. How supportive are the family with Nicole's tics?
Do you want to answer that?
Sure. They're all very supportive, like friends as well. Like, if I was out somewhere and I felt really uncomfortable or something like that, like, my family or my friends would just be like, it's okay, don't worry about it, like, it's fine. Like, they've all been really supportive. And, like, if I've had a really bad tic attack and I'm in hospital or something like that, they've always been the first people to ring me up and say, you okay, like, do you need anything? And they've kind of, you know, they're there for me. So if I need them, or if I'm just having a really bad day with my tics, like, they've always just said to call them and it'll be fine. So they always give me, like, they try and help me out and they try and learn things as well. So it's quite nice, because I know that they've always got my back.
Yeah, and it's so good to see all the comments on TikTok, and it's just amazing to see that so many people are supportive. You do get the occasional, we'll call them idiots, for
Yeah.
it's just life, I guess.
Yeah, because really, she doesn't have Tourette's. She is just possessed by something and needs an exorcism. That is basically
possessed by demons.
all it is. That's all it is. All right? Let's get you to church on Sunday. You'll be
Still
sound.
some holy water.
Oh dear. But yeah.
And for anybody taking offence, this is just my dark sense of humour. Apologies. You can't say that. That's blasphemous. You're, like, possessed.
I'm sorry. Oh my days.
Don't start saying that, or she'll start sleepwalking.
Yeah, don't say that.
Come into your room and knock on the door. Mom.
No, don't do that. That'll freak me right out.
Folk, we are.
There was a time when she was having, like, really bad tics, and I said, look, you need to get to bed, but she couldn't walk, because I think, you kept dropping to the floor, didn't you?
Yeah, that was, like, the worst.
And I came out of the toilet, and have you ever seen the film The Ring?
Oh.
Right? This one with her long dark hair crawling along the floor with all her hair down as I walk out of the toilet. And then her tics ran at me, and I was like, oh my God. So literally, it was like she was actually possessed at that point. I was like, oh my God.
She screamed.
I did scream. Yeah, I did. I crapped myself. It was dark. I didn't have the hallway light on or anything.
And you just hit it across the hallway.
Oh dear.
Shit. Anyway, sorry. I hijacked your next question.
Let's see. So how difficult was it for Nicole to get support when she was first diagnosed, and what support does she get now?
Oh, everything is 0. 0 before, 0 now. We got sent from the doctor. I got sent a link to the NHS website for explaining what tics were.
Wow.
And that was that. And her first paediatrician was really supportive, wasn't she? She was a brilliant paediatrician. Absolutely adored her. Unfortunately, we've now moved, and so we had to move paediatricians, and I had no end of rows with the second one. So we have a new one, which we are due to see in August. So I will keep you posted on that one. But so far, no. The only help that we had and support we had was from me going to research myself, and I came across the Tourette's Action charity. And they were fantastic in providing help and support for you going to school, weren't they? And like for information for the teachers for school and for educational stuff about how to introduce it to the other students and that kind of stuff. So them, I can't fault. They were brilliant for that.
Yeah. It's just disappointing that there's no support, but
there's just not enough awareness about it. But then I was that person. I was naive. I didn't know about Tourette's like I did now because it hadn't been in my world. So it's very easy for me to sit here and judge others, but I was one of those others. Until it happens to you, you don't really get the seriousness of it. It isn't just swearing, and that's what people think. There's so much more to it, isn't there?
yeah. And this is a big one for you, Nicole. Do your tics ever make you angry or frustrated, or do they make is your mental health impacted by your tics?
There are many times where I'm one of those people where when I get angry, I cry, because it's a very difficult way for me to kind of express how I'm feeling. Because if I get angry, I get to the point where I just start crying. So if I'm frustrated, I cry. If I'm angry, I cry. So it's like, if I'm frustrated or angry, I just start crying. So when like my tics are not letting me do something that I want to do, for instance, when I write things for an English lesson or a maths lesson, it does really frustrate me when I can't write and I have to have people write for me because I can't write it myself. And that does frustrate me, and I do get angry. And I get to the point where I'm just like, right, I need to kind of think about why I'm getting frustrated and angry, and I try and kind of calm myself down into the situation, because otherwise if I get myself worked up over the whole thing, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to suffer because of my emotions and how I've acted. So I try and calm myself down the best I can so I can do what I want to do, because I don't like being helped. I'm quite independent. So if I want to do something, I'm just going to go do it regardless. Like if I'm cooking or something like that, like, and Mum's like, do you want to help? I'm like, no, I'm okay. Because
even though everything's launching around the kitchen,
yeah,
like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just clear it up later. It's brilliant.
So it's just like I do like help sometimes, because sometimes I generally can't do things. But I try to do everything the best I can by myself, because I want to be able to do it myself. Like it's like being told you can't do something. It'll make you want to do it more. So like if someone's like, right, Nicole, you cannot do that because of your Tourette's, or you can't do that, it just makes me want to do it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is if I can find it, because I've just lost it. Why do you think it's important to raise awareness of Tourette's?
Is that for you?
For me, the importance is so that people like Nicole don't get judged and people understand it. So therefore, if you understand something, you're less likely to be ridiculed for it because you get it. And the people that do write the horrible comments on my TikToks are the people that are uneducated and they don't understand what the disability is. So I think by raising awareness, it means even if you just reach one more person each month, you're raising awareness about something that does actually affect thousands of people. So it's important for me because I think there are so many myths around Tourette's. People don't actually understand what it really is, which is why we constantly get asked, why is she not ticking? Well, she hasn't been ticking for the last 40 minutes that we've been on here with you, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have Tourette's.
Yeah. It's just every day's different, I guess.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment in the Lynn household, that's for sure.
No. Or car journeys normally.
Yeah.
What's it like being in the car with Nicole when she's ticking?
Depends on the tick day. If it's a good tick day and it's fairly like chilled, you can go in the front, can't you, with me? If it's kind of a bit of a sketchy tick day, then she has to sit in the back. And if she does sit in the back, I have to lock the doors because she actually has opened the door when she's been ticking when we've been driving along.
Wow.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way, didn't we?
Yeah. Sucks, really. And the thing is, though, it's kind of dangerous. Like,
not kind of. Very.
Yeah.
There's no kind of. Never mind you in the seatbelt. I'm more worried about my car door being ripped off or some plastic parts of pipe being smacked with the door as we're driving past.
It can be really dangerous at times. Like, I don't think people realise what kind of stuff like Tourette's can do. Like, imagine like if when Mum was cooking, I nearly put my hand in the oven. Like, she was cooking and I was gonna grab the what do you call it? Heater.
Oh, the halogen thing.
That,
yeah, the halogen one. Yeah, but I changed it because it was dangerous for you. The lid came off. It's like a halogen. It was like a halogen oven thing, and the lid came off and you used it. But she was trying to, as I lifted the lid, she was trying to touch the heat elements of it.
Ouch.
Yeah, it would have been as well. Honestly, this child keeps me on my toes.
Be better that than being sad all the time. And
no, I need her sad. She said at the beginning of this, if she's sad, she doesn't tick.
No, but I like feeling happy. If I have food, I'm happy. If I have something, if I've got Netflix, I'm happy. If I have ice cream, I'm happy.
No ice cream, no food, no Netflix for you. You're done.
you see, that's just a typical girl.
This is very true, Jordan.
But yeah, so I guess Tourette's is one of that things that it's people just look at you so you're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you're in Nicole's like no, because you're a child still, it almost appears that Nicole is just not a disciplined child and that she's just a spoiled brat allowed to swear and shout and make rude remarks and gestures and is just hyperactive. It could appear to somebody who's uneducated that Nicole doesn't have anything wrong with her, she's just a brat, but that isn't what it is. She can't help or control what she's doing, so it's completely involuntary. So that is again a reason for raising awareness, because then when we're out in shops and Nicole does shout and swear and hit things off of shelves and jump on the trolley, that people get that it's a tick, not their tics, they're not anything else.
Yeah. never forget. There was a video, and she was out shopping, and Nicole just shouts, "My mum has syphilis."
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, 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 yeah. She actually, you shouted that in the pub as well, didn't you? Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
See,
a,
obviously it's not true.
it's a good job I'm not single, because I would never get a man, would I? With her shouting around, "My mum's got syphilis." Everyone would be like. And the other one, which she's had from day one, of when her vocals kicked in, of ticking and telling everyone she's Madeleine McCann.
oh.
I'm obviously not. I'm obviously
Yeah, well,
not.
we all know that. For a start, you're about 5 years too young.
That's the thing.
You weren't even born when it happened.
I was only just born because it was 2007. Was it?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I was only just
Yeah.
born.
Yeah.
Ha! Did you see that? History, that. Cheers, Mr. Marshall.
Crazy. And other question. So this one is. The next one is, what advice would you give to other mums going through the same thing that you're going through?
Research everything and anything, and don't take no from anybody you speak to. And the only other massive piece of advice I would give is video evidence, because you cannot describe a tic attack. You can't. I've got hundreds of videos of Nicole having tic attacks, which I obviously can't share because Nicole's not comfortable for that, and I understand that completely. But I can't describe those. Even if I watch them back, you can't describe or even begin to realise the enormity of how bad they are.
Yeah.
So unless you film them, when you go to a doctor and you say, the reason I had an argument with my paediatrician is because I said I had to call an ambulance because she was physically harming herself to the point where she was clawing at her head and trying to gouge her eyes out and ripping her hair out. How am I meant to make that stop? And he told me I had to ignore it. I obviously have video evidence of this, and I was like, okay, how do you ignore this? So unless you have that video, because a lot of people judge me, the reason that I do film Nicole a lot, and a lot of it is so that I can see the progression or the change, or see things that you don't automatically see when you're in the situation unless you watch it back. Do you get what I mean? So for me, a big thing to a parent would be video evidence, research, and follow your gut, and don't say no.
You guys could get your own reality TV show with them videos you guys must have.
Yeah, we've got quite a few.
So what is it like? I'm trying to think how you could word this. What is it like when you're getting all the tests done, Nicole? So obviously you might not remember now, but I would imagine you had plenty of tests to get diagnosed. What were they all like?
I would say the worst test.
I'm remembering you having your blood test when you came out.
Blood test. I hate blood with a passion. Just no. And
you cope really well though.
It's not that, like when it's happening, you just kind of have to go, right, it's okay. Think of it as water. That's what you think of it as. You don't think of it as anything else. And I had my arm like this, and obviously you take it from there to get it from the vein. And the nurse came in, and he started getting it out my arm, and we'd been sat there for about 2-3 minutes, and I was looking at my mum because I can't watch it. It just makes me want to throw up. So I was kind of looking away, and then I looked, and it was, he literally had a needle hanging out of my arm. He was fiddling with capsules to open it to try and get the blood out. I was like, oh, I'm going to be sick.
She didn't have a very good experience the first time.
Literally. and it was a needle hanging out of my arm. And I'm not even joking. I nearly threw up all night on the floor because there was blood dripping from literally out of my arm. And I was like,
the thing is, I can't even say she's like exaggerating because that really was what happened the first time. The second time was alright. You know when we went.
was fine.
You know when we had to go to the hospital again for more blood tests, and we were in the waiting room and she was ticking really badly, and then Nicole's tics can sometimes appear like they're observational, can't they? So like you said about like you saw a yellow card, didn't you? And you started ticking sunshine. So sometimes they can appear observational, or she can say stuff and it's like it's about someone. So like there's been stuff when you've seen someone in a wheelchair and you've said, ha ha, you're in a chair and stuff like that, haven't you? And you can't, it's not something she's thinking.
Not something I'm thinking. Like Annabelle, so my friend's bipolar, and I started shouting that she was depressed. I was like, haha, emo, because she's got black hair. So it's like it's
But
like
in the hospital she was ticking really badly, and this massive black lady came out and I was like, oh,
why of all people?
not today.
No.
And bearing in mind, Nicole's got black friends, we've got black friends, so I'm not racist, there's no racism here. But
We love.
you know when you just know that this is not going to be great. And I was like, oh. She held it all in.
I was just like,
She held it all in. She was like this, like proper ticking away. And then we got out to the car and she was like, you tried to kill me? Like, she was like, it's like she was ticking like an absolute, like, well, it was bad, wasn't it? You were like, you bitch stuck me with a needle like this. And I was
honestly,
like,
and it was so bad. And I was just like, because she came out and I was just like, oh, not today, please. And then we got out and it just
exploded. Yeah, it was fine. Thankfully, it wasn't in front of the lady.
It was alright.
Well, I used to be scared of getting my boards done, but now I can actually sit and watch them do it.
Really? I donate blood and I still can't watch. Even when I do the photos and stuff, I'm like that. I'm like,
No, I can't do
I
it.
find it the most satisfying thing ever.
really? You must be one of the only people. There must be like this rare amount of people that when you go to the nurses and doctors and they say, are you okay with blood? And you're like, yeah, I'm fine. I bet they're like, oh, okay.
I would generally throw up on the floor if I see blood.
You useless.
I can't even deal with my own blood, let alone other people's. Like, people can't deal with sick. There's certain people that, like Gracie, she can't deal with sick. Throw up.
No, sick, I'd rather why not. Yep.
Can't do it.
I think I've actually run out of questions.
That's all right. That's fine. We've done a good hour of
Yep.
us, which is nice. You've been all nice and calm. It's been really nice.
Yeah, don't say that because then she's going to come off and she's
Yeah,
Touch
true.
wood. Where's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wood? Where's the wood?
The wood.
Touch the wood for me. Mum, touch the wood. There's wood behind me.
Nana. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been... Anyway,
I
I shall...
Thank you for doing this with us.
You're welcome.
And trying to raise more awareness. It's a good thing you're doing on your page.
Yep.
But anybody who's not following, go and follow Jordan.
Thank you. And I will keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely do. And we'll save this and I will put it on my YouTube channel.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, it was lovely to speak to you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. You're going to have to show me how we have to do all this now because I'm not sure how we, like, stop things.
Right.
You can see my tattoo.
It's very warm. I can't lie.
It's hot, isn't it?
Don't put it on me.
Still very,
No, please don't do that.
still very hot, isn't it?
Did it bleed yesterday?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not very much though.
That's put me off getting a tattoo. I can't even lie.
Should have come on, watched it. You can watch the next one.
No, I'll be sick.
Yes. Jodie, it's fine not to be. I've just DM'd you. Okay. Stay live, please.
I feel like ASMR.
I might go. What? That wasn't even a tick. That's just rude.
That's just me. My eyes a bit watery.
You're welcome, Jordan. It was lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
Please stop doing a bit of a wiggle. Stop.
I might do a quick go live on TikTok quickly for the people that.
I don't want to hurt you.
For the people that haven't spoke to you on TikTok, will you do a go stay on here for a little bit longer?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we're going to head over to TikTok. Oh my god. TikTok. T. Get up.
Oh, it's so hurt the other way. It's okay, fork.
Right, we will be back on in a second. We'll head over to TikTok. How do you finish this and be able to save it then, babe?
Okay, hold on.